Well, we're taking it easy and we're feeling fine. Put a little stitching here on Island Time. If you get in a hurry, well, it's not a crime. But won't you come and join us on Island Time?
Hi, I'm Lori Millsap, and this is my daughter Mallory Bosse, and together we are stitching on Island Time. Thank you so much for coming back to watch our video. After last attempt to record where we had a disastrous audio failure, we're both a little gun shy about whether or not this video will go well. We've pulled every single whip right back out again to show you, and hopefully this will be a little better. If this is your first time with us here at Stitching on Island Time, welcome. We would love it if you would like and subscribe to our channel. And we hope that we'll provide inspiration for your stitching. Certainly, if you just let us ramble on in the background, you should have lots of time for stitching while you sit and listen.
So grab a project, settle in, because we're going to be talking for a while.
Yes. We attempted to record this video on Saturday morning, and that's usually our preferred time. Up until now, it's been our only time because we have our tech support at home.
Yes, my sweet husband, who has done all of the purchasing of all of our sound equipment and knows how it all goes together to make a good video, is usually home on Saturday.
Yes. But
however,
we just had a minor glitch that would be very minor had we not talked for over 2 hours.
Right.
But as it is, we're going to try and maybe pare that down a little bit. I can't move too much faster. The challenge is I just stitched a lot this month.
I did too.
It was a good month for stitching. So I have a lot of whips to show. We'll get to that. You got anything else you want to say in the lead-in?
Not really. Just wanted to thank our amazing sound guy. Our song was written and performed by my dad, Dennis Millsap. So thank you for playing our jingle for us.
We really appreciate that. When we started recording, immediately he said, well, you need a jingle. So he took us under his wing.
Yes,
that
he
was
absolutely did. And it's really fun to add his little bits at the beginning and sometimes in the middle and at the end of the video. I do all the editing, so like that makes me happy.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think we'll start off with some of our finishes from this month. The last time we recorded was in January, and so our January video was on January 25th. Today it's February 24th, so we have a little more than a month's worth of whips and things. I'll show you. I'm looking at my book of days. So I had that last week of January that I stitched, and then I also had a lot of stitching in February.
Yes.
And I love my book of days. This is the Needlework Press book of days. I ordered mine from Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher so that it comes already prepared with the binding, because I know myself and I would not go otherwise.
If you have to make one more trip to Staples or wherever,
right,
it's just not going to happen.
The first year of my book, I just used it as a normal book, but I really enjoyed having it spiral bound last year, and so I ordered it that way again this year. So I'm going to start with some previous finishes. I just thought they were seasonally appropriate, and I was kind of digging around. I didn't do any other fully finishing this month, so this is a good way for you to see some things fully finished. This is Lucky You from Silver Creek Samplers. It was a freebie that she put out in March, I think of 2023, that I stitched on 14 count Aida. It may even have been 2022 because I stitched it on 14 count Aida, and I don't do that very much anymore, but I just whipped it up into a little pillow. It's stuffed with fiber fill. That's again not something I do very much anymore, but it's a big pillow, so it was a good idea to stuff it with fiber fill. And then I just cut out a little 4-leaf clover that I stitched my initials on. I wish I'd also stitched the year, then I wouldn't be guessing what year I did this. But Lucky You, if you're looking for something seasonal, that is the stitch.
It's so cute.
It's very cute. And I know it's still available on the Silver Creek Samplers website because she's great like that. Before I move to my other two that are less seasonal, I want to talk about the seasonal quilt behind us because I forgot to mention it. This quilt is called Limerick. It's a quilt designed by a crafty fox. Her business is also Westwood Acres, where you can buy these kind of 2-color quilt kits, already kitted fabrics. And that's what I did in 2020. I ordered this, and in 2021, I was working on it that spring and listening. The neatest thing she does is she has a book that goes along with her quilts typically. So I was listening to a really amazing audiobook while working on this quilt.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good too. I think it's called something like Where the Wind Blows or something like that.
With the time travel?
Yes.
Oh, I remember you telling me about it.
Yes, it was a great book. I'll look it up and tell Mallory, and she can tell you who the author was. But anyway, this quilt's called Limerick Quilt. I bought the kit, and then I added fabrics from my own stash that I loved that matched, and then put it together. But I had it on the wall in 2021 when Mallory and her family moved in with us. And so I had to pull it down, partially constructed, and put it in a UFO box, which is never good for quilts. But last January, when I went on a quilting retreat, I was able to take it with me, get it assembled, and come home and get it quilted. So I really love it. It's just a classic Irish chain, so it's not, difficult to do. You can do it with jelly roll strips that you have left over, or cut your own slices. But anyway, I enjoyed working on it.
And it's so happy.
It is.
Green's my favorite color, so I really enjoy this time of year where everything has transitioned from pink into green. Although pink and green look very
Lovely
good
together. That's right.
Not that we're huge fans of Wicked, but we're huge fans of Wicked. So.
Certainly. In every way, yes. The next previous finish I'm going to show you is the Good Shepherd sampler. It is by Annie Beez Folkart. And I bought this during a sampler September in probably 2021. Fat Quarter Shop had a really great sale on NPI silk, and so I looked specifically for a chart that was charted in NPI. And so this sampler is charted primarily in NPI. It does have a DMC conversion. I bought the NPI. I had never stitched with NPI before, and so I just put it in my stash for a while until I got the gumption to figure out what to do with those silks, how to cut them and how to work with them. They're so easy. If you've never stitched with silk, I highly encourage trying. I love it. I can't afford to do it on every single project, but I do it on as many projects as I think I can because it's just such a delightful hand feel when you're stitching. I loved this one. My maiden name is Woolly, and I love anything that has a sheep. And so the Good Shepherd sampler says, "I am the Good Shepherd. I know mine and mine know me," which is a verse from the Bible. I loved that. Stitching that over 1 on 36 count was actually pretty easy to do because it was silk. It nestled right in there. I hadn't had a lot of luck with over 1 stitching before this, and I was very pleased with how well it turned out. So today we're going to use this as one of our giveaways. So if you would like to win this chart, in your comment below our video, just say Shepherd, and I will gift this pattern to you. I have a couple of more giveaways that we'll do toward the end of the video. Our giveaway thing worked pretty well last time. We mailed out our giveaways last week.
Right before the snowpocalypse sealed us into the house, so we wouldn't be able to get out again.
That's right. This is 2 videos in a row.
I know.
Where we are filming right after a significant snow event. It's very odd.
And our part of eastern North Carolina doesn't typically get that much snow. And then we've had 2 major snows happen this winter, which is, my children love it.
Yeah.
Us a little bit less, but mostly because it makes the roads hazardous. We don't know what to do here when the roads are icy.
Right.
I stayed
home literally from Tuesday evening until Sunday morning last week. I did not leave the house. So driving to church yesterday morning, I was like, well, the roads are actually really clear. But I wasn't willing to risk it before then. I framed Good Shepherd Sampler myself, by the way. I had bought that frame also on sale from Fat Quarter Shop, just hoping someday I would have something that would fit it, which is kind of nice. It's a Lori Holt frame.
That is nice.
Here's another one I framed myself. So I love this piece so much. You cannot imagine how much I love it. I bought the Loose Feathers Summer, Autumn, Winter booklets when I was on a quilting retreat in Southport, North Carolina, down on the beach at Angel Wing Needle Arts, which is a lovely combo craft store. She has a beautiful collection of quilt fabrics, but she also has cross stitch and yarn. So it's a wonderful for a small community to have all their different craft opportunities there. It's fantastic. But this was probably the first project that I actually shopped in a local needlework store and chose patterns from the bookshelf and picked the flosses myself. Now, these are all the called for flosses. I didn't do any sort of color conversion. And this is on 30 count linen because this was very early in my return to cross stitch in 2022. I started in February of 2021. So I'd only been doing this just a few months when I went to that retreat in October of 2021 and I bought these booklets. And then I started stitching and I finished it up in 2022. And I love this piece so much. It's Blackbird Designs. It's a classic. A lot of people have stitched it. I enjoyed seeing Carol Saltbox Stitcher. Most recent video was a Blackbird Palooza, and it reminded me just, of course, I have a lot of Blackbird whips, but just how much I love my Blackbird projects. This one I framed myself. On 30 count, it fit an 11 by 17 frame that I was able to buy on a nice sale at Michael's. And so I was able to lace it and frame it myself, which is really nice. So both of these framed pieces I framed myself. That is not the habit around here. I don't frame a lot myself, mainly because I don't usually think enough ahead to choose a project that will fit in an ordinary frame. So my next trick will be to order frames from Hobby Lobby or Michael's and then frame myself. I haven't done that yet. I always admire Chris the Camping Stitcher has a great tutorial video where she talks about framing, and she buys her frames from Art to Frame, which she orders online, and she talks about how to measure and how to decide what to order. So I may also try that. You know, again, we live in a very rural part of Eastern North Carolina where we don't have access to any big framing locations.
Yes.
So.
It's a 20-minute drive to get into town to the craft store, and it's a 2-hour drive to get to our local needlework shop.
Yeah, 3 really.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any previous finishes you're going to show?
I do.
Okay.
Now this is one that I actually framed with the glass in, and I know this is not something that we do in the cross stitch community, but I wanted to show you why. So this was a Valentine's Day gift for my husband. Actually not this past Valentine's Day, but several ago. And my favorite thing is that I purposely put it in a frame that's too large so that Deadpool has lots of negative space. And that way you're able to write on the glass with Sharpie little messages. And so every once in a while, I'll pull it down off the wall, erase it with some isopropyl alcohol, and put a new message on there just to surprise Mike. And it is so fun. So if you're looking for like a different kind of finish, this is a great way to be able to leave little messages. Reminders to yourself, like if you need to have a to-do list somewhere, having some stitching on the edge is a beautiful thing to have, and then writing out your to-do list there. Just an idea.
Great.
I really love this one, and it was a lot of fun to stitch.
Awesome. Got anything else?
I do. Oh,
Okay.
the other one that I finished, the last time that we filmed this, I actually had the mug that matched it, but This is Warm Stitches from Primrose, and it was one of the patterns that I got for Christmas from Mom, and I settled in after Jingle Ball and worked through some of those stitches, and this one was really fun. So I just finished it onto mat board with some quilt batting behind it so that it would have a little bit of fluff to it, and finished it with fabric that was just up in Chuck's room. So just found a nice coordinating, kind of Christmassy, but
Okay.
it's just wintry.
She said Chuck's room because we have a room upstairs that's my fabric storage area. We call it Chuck's room because we just chuck things in there until we're ready to put them away. I hope you have maybe not a whole room, but at least a drawer or two so you can identify with that. Yeah.
My children, for a while, I was trying to convince them that I have a brother named Charles and that's his room. You know, you guys haven't met your Uncle Charlie, but he's fun.
No, that's not okay. No, bless them. They have a hard enough time with the extended family and the relationships sometimes. So, yeah.
That's the blessing and the curse of having such a big family, though.
That's true. Well, I had a big finish. You want to move on to finishes from the past month?
Yes.
This was one of my favorite finishes ever. Look at this beautiful Blackbird design. It's called A Little Bit of Spring. Here's the booklet that it comes in. I highly recommend this. The pinks and reds are just gorgeous. I had just a little bit left to finish on our last video, and I finished that up, and it was my first Whipco pull for this month, so that was awesome. So I finished it during Whipco, and I waited till the end to decide how to dedicate it, and then I really didn't feel led to put any of my ancestors' names on it or anything, so I just put 2025 in my initials, and then I think I had to add a couple of little extra stars in the sky to fill in some blank space where I didn't count very well and didn't center it as well as I wanted to. But I think it turned out great. I'm going to take this one to have it professionally framed. I have this and The Winter Is Past that I finished in September that I haven't taken yet. And I'm going to take the two of them together the 1st of March and have them framed. So maybe I'll have those back to show you next month.
That is fantastic. I also love how you subtly darkened your L and M up there in your alphabet for your initials. It's so sweet that you can do that.
Almost every time. There's a real advantage to having the name Lori Millsap and having LM together in the alphabet is as often as possible when I'm stitching an alphabet, I always change the LM to be the same color floss and then often just darken it just a smidge, just enough so that I know it's one of mine. Yeah.
That's so cool.
You know, I think someday when I'm gone, all these will belong to my daughters, and so I want them to have
it's got the year on it.
This one has the year. Yes, I actually thought through to do the year on this one.
Last time we showed that there was this little tiny modernist design that's called Easter Wreath, and Mom had gotten a really good start on this one. It had all the words finished and it had a lot of the flowers done. And I said, oh, this one's practically finished. And I literally was able to finish it in an evening. And look how sweet that is. It's going to finish on a round that we're then going to put as the tummy for a bunny that we're going to use to decorate our house for Easter this year. But I was just really pleased with how it came together.
Let's do this one also as a giveaway. I didn't think about this last time, but since we have the pattern and she's finished with it, say Easter, which should be capitalized in the comments, and you'll have a chance to stitch this up. And we'll get it in the mail. We'll close out giveaways on March 15th. So that will only be 10 days into Lent. So you should be able to get this in time, that you might be able to get some stitching on it before Easter this year. But, you know, Easter comes again. There you go.
Time is cyclical.
It's awesome how that works. Because goodness knows I've got some Christmas whips waiting on me. Okay. You have another finish, I think.
I do. This was another one begun by you and then resumed by me. So the sad part about this one is I had a counting tragedy. When Mom first worked on this one, she had done the entire center and all of the plaid that leads off the center. So really, I just did the flower baskets and flowers and finished the plaid. So this is flea market flower baskets, And it was so much fun to stitch, you guys. I had a blast. The color palette was so fun. And I absolutely love that it comes in its kit as, look at this. What do you call this? Floss keeper?
Yeah, a floss keeper, I think.
The little floss keeper even has the pattern on there. Like, this is just super clever and handy when you have this many flosses for one pattern. So I really loved stitching this one and was so excited when I finished. However, as I was putting in the final flower, I went, that doesn't seem like it's even. Why isn't it? That's so weird. They've all been an even spacing apart from each other. Oh, it's because the first flower I put in, instead of counting down 8 strands, since this is even weave, I counted 4 strands. So up here in this corner, that little green flower is too close to the cornerstone flower, and therefore I'm gonna have to rip out that whole side. So that upset me a little bit, and I said, you know what, it's fine. It will make me so much more happy for it to be geometrically correct. So I will take all those flowers out, but I'm gonna show it with the mistake because look how pretty it is. You know, like mistake and all, it's just lovely. But I think my plan is I'm gonna rip those flowers out and then take this project with me in April when we go to the Stitchin kitten, Stitchin by the lake. And it'll be a fun way for me to have something to work on that doesn't take a lot of brain cells because I've stitched this flower 40 billion times now and I've got it memorized. So I'll be able to hold conversation with people and stitch at the same time. It's gonna be great.
And she'll get a nice happy finish while we're on a retreat, which will be great.
And it's beautiful. It's so lovely. Now, while she was sitting in timeout, we had a loss in our family. My cat, Adelaide, who would be 10 this April, had been very sick. And so I took her in for an ultrasound of her abdomen on February 13th and got a phone call that the obstruction in her colon was actually cancerous and inoperable. And so what I thought was going to be a simple vet trip ended up being the day we had to say goodbye to her. And that was really hard.
It was hard.
I fully expected that it was going to be a quick fix and she'd be back to her normal shenanigans. But as a way of honoring her, and as I was stitching with this beautiful palette, I looked at it and went, you know what? These are all great colors for Adelaide. And so I did a design of her specifically that I stuck in here somewhere. Pause for effect. So I just went ahead and stitched up a little memory piece of Adelaide with the same color flosses that came with the flower baskets because they are just happy, pretty colors. And she has crossed the rainbow bridge. So I kind of put the flowers there on the ground as a rainbow effect. So she was a very sweet kitty and I have missed her desperately over the last few weeks. I'm hoping to hoop finish this one.
That'll be really nice.
I just finished it yesterday, so I haven't done more than that. But, okay, so I'm still in my masking tape era, as you can see.
Yes.
I realized I could write on the masking tape. So I actually put my start date on there so that I would be able to remember when I worked on this piece.
That's fantastic. Now that's smart. I didn't think about how adding masking tape to the edge gives you a place where you can just write right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. My other masking tape edged piece that I had finished this month, I've already mailed to its recipient.
Put a board behind it,
Oh,
but
yes.
Hopefully it's not shining through too much.
There's Addie.
There she is.
My other masking tape edge finish that I showed you guys last month, let's do a little warning here, it does contain some anatomy, was for my best friend who is a midwife, and it's just a little sampler that I designed. I called the reproduction sampler because it's about reproduction. And she received it, and you guys, here's what it looks like as a pillow. It finished out lovely. And then here's the birthday girl with her present. I think she likes it.
Isn't that great? It's funny, you know, we offered that pattern as a freebie to any of our viewers. I'm still, by the way, happy to send it out. If any of you would like a copy of the reproduction sampler, just email us at stitchingonislandtime@gmail.com. But we had no takers. So apparently my very traditional friends are not really into stitching penises and vaginas. I don't know why, but yes, I know we may have to blank that out, but that's okay.
Little censor bar pops up. Bleep, bleep.
Right. Anyway, I was telling my husband I was surprised we had no one ask for a copy of the sampler when it occurred to me that I belong to the Snarky and Modern cross-stitch group on Facebook, because I am a snarky and modern ally. Yes. I don't stitch that style very often, but I vote that style. So I am very supportive and want to make sure that artists who post more modern art and are a little more outspoken in their beliefs than perhaps my conservative upbringing has allowed me to grow into. Although I'm much more outspoken as a 50-something than I ever was as a 30-something. So there's that. Anyway, I lost count after I posted her reproduction sampler on the Snarky and Modern cross-stitch Facebook group. Mm-hmm. So many requests, and they were so sweet.
Yes.
The number of people who requested, who then also said, my sister's a midwife, my brother-in-law is an OB. Mm-hmm. You know, like the number of people that wanted to stitch it for someone in the reproductive health industry. Mm-hmm. That was
sweet.
Fun. And then a lot of people who just thought, yes, I need that hanging in my bathroom, which I also thought was hilarious. So
I am very supportive to use this however you want to, but gosh, it was fun to design. So it just makes me happy that people are enjoying it. So
yeah,
I've got another design that I have not published yet, printed, I should say, because I just did it as fan art, basically. But I've been reading the Fourth Wing books by Rebecca Yarros. Man, they're good. I read the first and second one, Iron Flame. You guys, dragons and magic make me so happy, but this one's particularly well written. Watch out, it's spicy. But this inspired me to create this image. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it in the video right here. If you're interested in this design, let me know. I'll be happy to get that to you. I'm not really selling it because the original wording and everything comes from Rebecca Yarros, and I'm not trying to infringe on her copyright, but my gosh, are they good. And if you're looking for a good read, that's a fantastic one.
Awesome. Yeah, we're big readers here. Mm-hmm. I met someone not too long ago who boastfully said, I don't read books. And I knew instantly I had nothing in common with them. Oh. So, you know, we're big readers.
Yeah.
So, I had a finish, but then also this is a whip. So I'm going to pull it out and show you. This is Anniversaries of the Heart, which I'm stitching with Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher and Carrie Tiger Lily Designs. Mm-hmm. I finished the February block, which I decided to finish just as it's intended, with the love of my life. So I have an L and a D for Lori and Dennis and 1986 for the year that we married. So I stuck that in there. And I'm on 46 count linen, so this is a huge piece of linen for very tiny stitches.
Yes.
And I am never anywhere on this design going to stitch anything over 1. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not doing 46 count over 1. That's not happening. So I charted that for the over 2 stitching, and then while we've got it out, because I'm not going to pull it out again, I'm working still on the March block that I jumped straight into. You know, I finished the middle piece here, the bonus block, in November to give myself a head start. And then I worked across on borders and did January and January. Mm-hmm. Started immediately on February, finished it early enough in February that I could move on into March. So I'm hoping, I'm so close now on this March block that I'd love to get it finished this week. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays are when I have some time to stitch on Anniversaries of the Heart. So this is a wish for you. It's the March block, and I'm going to dedicate it to my grandparents, my paternal grandparents, Hollis and Edith Woolley. My Mama's birthday was in March. Their wedding anniversary is actually the same day as my younger daughter's birthday. And so I can't do their anniversary information in October because around here we call that Magtober.
The whole month goes to Maggie.
That's right. And so I'm certainly not going to do that. I'm not going to try and take October away from Maggie in any way. So this will be where I put Mama and Papa's dedication. And then I actually charted their initials over 2 because I'm not doing, you'll notice on this chart, it's got like this over 1, a wish for good health, good luck, and happiness. I'm not stitching anything over 1 if I can help it. And so in your book of days, one of the last pages is a piece of graph paper, which is really nice.
Genius.
And so each time, like you see, I've got the okra coke that I did on my Seaside Tiny Town. I've got the 2025 that I put in on that other chart. And then here are my grandparents' initials and their wedding year of 1938. And then they were married for nearly 66 years. So I actually replaced the initial on the door with the number 66.
That's fantastic.
So that also happens to be the year I was born. So if I ever get any pushback from my dad, who will say they were only married 65 years, just know it could also be the year I was born and became their favorite grandchild.
Yeah, and it was almost 66 years. We can round up.
I'm rounding up. For
Yeah.
people who loved each other that long,
Yeah, we can round up.
We're going to round up.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get back to my list because otherwise I will forget something.
I have shown all of my finishes.
Have you? Okay. Well, and I think that's all of mine. Oh, I have my anniversaries of the heart are in this bag that I made that I love. And it's very intentional that I put it in this bag for March. First of all, it's a green bag, which I like. But my mama and papa were big dancers. And they took me to all sorts of dances, although my mama called them dances.
Dances.
We went dancing a lot when I was a little girl. And so then what I do each month is I pull the floss that I need from a master bag that has all the floss for all of the anniversaries of the heart. And I just put just those. But I keep my fob that tells me that I started this project on November 20th. So I'm just going to work my way through them one at a time.
That's
I
great.
did also print myself a working copy so that I could mark where I'm going to put those initials in place. Because, you know, it is kind of challenging to do that. All right, well, I have some unlimited number of whips, maybe like 12 or 13. It's crazy. You saw my book of days. So I'm going to show 4 or 5, and then I'm going to take a break to drink some water and let Mallory show a few, and then I'll show the rest.
That sounds right.
I didn't, when we filmed on Saturday, I had taken everything out of their bags. This time I'm going to show the bags. I can't imagine how much time that's going to add. But anyway, this is another bag I made myself. In here I have a Savior's Praise, which when I put it away, I fold my silks inside to protect them. I am using the Vicki Clayton silks that I cut for this project and put on floss tags. I don't always. I'm going to show you on my next one with Vicki Clayton silks. I left it on the bobbins. But I worked on this on Sundays. And so I got a little bit more done yesterday. I'm at about, I meant to look. Maybe I'm at 10%. I can't remember. But I have this in markup RXP, which makes it much easier to work on for me. And then I also bought the paper copy, but I only have this for, emergencies if the power were out or we decide to travel and we're not somewhere where my iPad is holding its charge. Because sometimes we camp and, so anyway, I don't want to not be able to work on it on some Sunday afternoon. So it's going to be beautiful. Here, I'll show you what it looks like again.
And who are you stitching this one with?
I'm stitching this one with Beth, the Red Cross stitcher. Beth is a good friend of mine, and I'd known her for a long time, but we met for the first time in person at the Barefoot Needle Art Retreat.
In October last year.
In October, yeah. And so after we had decided to stitch a few other things together, then she said, we saw a finish of this, and it was so beautiful. And so she said, let's start that. And I said, well, I've got so much going on. Can we start it on January 1st? So we're stitching it on Sundays, and I'm willing to let it take however long it takes. tragically, or maybe beneficially, Markup RXP tells you how long it's going to take. And so when I glanced at it the last time, it said it was going to take me an additional like 65 days, which is more than a year of Sundays. But I'm okay with that. You know, if it takes me a year and a half of Sundays, then that's fine.
If you keep at your current pace.
That's
kind
right.
of cool. As a statistician, you must love that.
I do love that. Sadly, sometimes it takes advantage of me that I stop. Like, I think on that project one day, I had stitched exactly 1,000 stitches and I had to put it away. I couldn't stitch anymore that day because it had hit exactly 1,000 and I went,
1,000.
oh, I have to stop.
That's very Mr. Monk of you.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, my brain and numbers.
Just a little OCD.
So here are the silks for the next project. This is called Ducks in the Orchard.
Oh, I love this
And
one.
this is a stitch along that we're doing with Susan Robidy's pattern. She's a gardener's needle. And you can buy her chart at
Barefoot
Needle Art. And this is the back. Okay, there you go. And that is where I am. I'm stitching this on 36 count Mackinac fudge. The original design was stitched on a chocolate brown. I'll see if I can find the cover page. Once again, I didn't bother to get it where I could show you the cover. Yeah, I don't see it. Anyway, if you're interested in stitching this one with us, I'm actually hosting this stitch along. I don't know how I ended up being the host, but there are a lot of people. My good friend Judith, whose handle on Instagram is JHYANDLE, Judith Yandel. She's made a lot of progress. I think she's finished her house. But what's nice, if you follow the Ducks in the Orchard Sal hashtag, if you'll go look at it, is you'll see all the different ground fabrics people have chosen.
That's so much fun for me.
But the original was stitched on a piece that was dyed by Barefoot Needle Art. So if you're interested in stitching this with us, we have the Vicki Clayton silks. You absolutely can kit it up with DMC or cotton.
Right.
Overdyes. The original was stitched with cottage garden threads, which are very cool. Anyway, I love it. It's got sweet little ducks. It's very fun. All right.
It's so cute.
My next one is my leap year Sal that I started for a combination of two reasons. Chris, the camping stitcher, suggested a leap year Sal, and then Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts chose to stitch his eyes on the sparrow, and I had it. I said, I think I bought that chart at Dying to Stitch, and I went and looked in my stash, and I had not only stuck it away as a chart, but I'd stuck it away with most of the threads. I think I was just missing a couple of threads in the package, so I was like, okay.
So it was practically kitted, you just needed linen.
Right, so I then spent a large part of the 28th of February last year organizing my whole chart into a page protected folder because I thought, gosh, I'm going to be stitching on this forever, and this chart's printed kind of small and I need to put it in individual page protection. And I went on social media to post, I'm going to start his eyes on the sparrow, and someone had said, get the PDF and use markup. And I went, what a genius idea. I've been using markup for a couple of years. So I went straight to Beth Twist's website, downloaded the PDF, and that is the secret to making progress on this chart. It's fantastic. I went just over 50% this month.
Wow.
So I'm so happy with my progress.
Oh my gosh.
I got to put in Eve and the tree and the snake and the lion and the angel and this little flower, and finish filling in my house. So, you know, I'm looking forward to finishing the tree of life and getting all of this stitched in. I think it's just wonderful.
It's gorgeous, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to stitch it. I love, you know, when I want to sit down and stitch and I don't want to spend a lot of time with my iPad on next to me, I just work a little more on the border because I have it memorized now. And so I just, you know, add, and that's a good way to do 200 or 300 stitches, you know, without having,
Right.
and then I just color them in on my markup. But markup is fantastic. I can do a tutorial on markup sometime, but I will say that if you have a PDF from a designer that understands making something pattern keeper ready, then markup is trivial. You just import it and it works. If you have a designer who says, you know, I'm not ever going to issue PDFs because of the risk of theft or something like that, then you have to scan your image from a paper, and sometimes it doesn't line up really well. I've got a couple of big designs that I've scanned in from charts I bought from designers. It's a little tedious to set up. But, you know, my career was in computers, so that part doesn't scare me either. And once it's in there, it's so helpful.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, this is where I am on
It's
his
lovely.
eyes on the sparrow.
Do you see how big it's going to be?
I have it on 36 count dirty teacup. I just happen to have a fat half of that in my stash, and I love it so much. It is absolutely, I think Laura calls it magic fabric. It kind of is. You just enjoy it. And I've said this before, but when you're working on such a big piece and it's going to take you a long time, having these little small finishes is like nonstop dopamine hits.
Yeah.
You know, you go, oh, look, I stitched a bird. Oh, look at that flower. Isn't it pretty? Oh, look at that little angel. I love it so much. So anyway, I also changed my house color to match what Olivia is doing at Pumpkin Hollow. I used the same 3 flosses that are called for to stitch the house, but I just reversed them. So instead of red doors on a brown house with green windows, it was green doors on a red house with yellow windows. So
It's so cute.
yeah, turned out great. I don't know yet what I'm going to put in the cartouche, so I'll probably stitch everything around before.
In the what?
The cartouche at the top.
Cartouche?
Yes, the little, you know.
That's
this.
probably a French word I should know with my French sounding last name, but
Right.
I don't.
Well, you know, the little space at the top where you get to put in your initials or your year.
Okay.
So
Good
my
stuff.
goal with this one, I got 50% done in the first year, and my goal is to get the other 50% done in the second year. And I hope then what I can do, oh, this is in a Tammy Blaylock bag, by the way, by Creative Country Girl. I hope that I can finish that one and then start its companion piece, Consider the Lilies, and finish both of them in this 4-year cycle of leap year. Leap year has always been a big holiday for me, so it was fun to do this. It's really my first leap year since I started stitching, because I started in 2021.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
okay, this one is a small start that I've worked on a few days. This is the Needleworkers Sampler. Chris, the camping stitcher, was doing this one as her blessings sampler in January. She finished it. It's framed. It's gorgeous. This is a sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread. Again, I don't have the outside picture handy. It's very pretty. Yeah, I don't know what I've done with the cover art, but it's a small, oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't think you can even see it on this piece. So anyway, it's a small sampler. It won't take me too long, and I'm going to keep it out all year. I actually work on it when I watch Chris.
Yeah.
So Chris, if you just create more content, I get more work done on this. Seriously though,
No pressure.
right, no pressure. That is how I'm handling a lot of my whips this year, especially whips that are stitch-alongs that I started because I was inspired by a fellow floss tuber that I love and watch frequently. I am working on them while I watch that person's floss tube. So that makes me really happy.
fun.
It kind of, it's like pairing a good cheese and wine, like I feel like
And you feel like you're stitching with them.
exactly.
As they're talking to you, you're sitting there
Right.
stitching.
I know it's something they like, I know it's something that I like, and we're doing it together while they talk about all their things. Yes, so it's kind of
great.
fun. That was a weird little rule I made for my brain this year.
I think it's genius. Have I implemented it for myself? No, but I think it's genius.
Well, so this is another one. This is Vibrant Flowers that I started because Tara was stitching it for her birthday.
I love Tara.
I ordered the kit. Yeah, Tara's Sully Stitches, and I ordered the kit from Rachel at Needle and Flax, and so I got the called for needle and flax linen and then the NPIs, and I got started on this, and I've made a lot of progress. I stitched this flower the last video I watched of Tara's, and I'm just going to keep pulling this out as Tara shows us things all year, and I'm really close to a finish, so I think I'll finish this probably, you know, maybe before her birthday in April, and then I'll pull out the other thing that she's inspired me to start when I watch her after that. So I think it's a good way. I mean, if we start a thing with someone, at least then we're getting a little bit of time, even if it's only an hour a month, you know, or...
Tara's the one that suggested the stand-up bowl,
yes,
right? For the
exactly. So I'll pull Millie out whenever I watch Tara again.
Yes.
I've got another project that's not in a bag, and so it's fallen down in the front.
Can I show my Tara-inspired
Yes,
project
you
then?
absolutely can. Do that.
So I was inspired by Tara, Sully Stitches, who said that we should all make a little stand-up from one of the animal crackers by Stacy Nash. And I already had Henrietta, which is a hen in a little green dress. She's precious. Look how sweet she is. So I got a really good start on her working on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it really is great.
I don't actually watch sports ball, so it works out great. You can put a lot more stitches in if you're not distracted by the TV. But this hoop actually came from my friend Freebie. Thank you, Phoebe. I didn't even know they had rectangular Nerge hoops, but this is going to be exactly the right size to finish working on Henrietta. So I'm excited to get her done. She looks so much like my first flock of chickens that we've had here. I only have 2 out of the 6 birds from that flock still living because they're little old ladies now, but it's just so sweet.
Yes, I love it.
It's so sweet, and I love her so much.
Well, because this time I don't have my things in a pile, but I actually brought my box in, I can pull Millie out and show her now.
Oh, nice.
So this is Millie, another one of the Stacy Nash animal crackers. Millie's who I started at the stand-up bowl. I have all my animal crackers in one bag, so I'm hoping I can move from Millie to another one. But I did a color and cotton conversion. I actually asked my younger granddaughter, Gumdrop, to help me choose the gray and the greens for this one. And part of that was because the elephant is her spirit animal.
Absolutely.
When they were very young.
Homeschooling, preschool.
They said when they grew up they wanted to be an elephant. So I think that's pretty fun.
But, you know, Gumdrop still sounds like an elephant coming down those stairs.
Which
is impressive.
Yeah.
Because
so
weighing nothing.
Right. So I went ahead and ordered from Color and Cotton backups of all the colors that I had chosen for Millie, and they've come in the mail as part of my haul because I really did not want to run out of that gray. I chose driftwood, but every color that I had chosen were available at the Color and Cotton website. And this is a bag I bought from Buckleberry this month. Isn't it gorgeous?
It's so cute.
So I put all of my animal crackers in it because it's just so beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
It's got this beautiful heart. Well, I guess it's
polka dot
on
the inside.
Yeah, on the inside. Yeah.
Yeah. I love those patchwork bags.
I do too. So anyway, I went ahead and ordered that. I used to be in the Color and Cotton Floss Club, and I have a lot of Color and Cotton floss. And so whenever I'm kitting up a small, I typically convert it into Color and Cotton. And right when they announced at the end of last year that they were closing their floss club, I used it as an excuse to basically fill out my color palette, and I ordered, I don't know, 50 or 60 different colors of red. I don't know, some crazy number. So now I have lots of shades of red, but I have a pretty good selection of everything else. And so I tend to use Color and Cotton. In fact, here is another Color and Cotton conversion that I've done on this whip. This is Darling Buds of May. It is in the booklet, How Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, from Blackbird. And I'm in the Blackbird Stitching Exchange this month that's hosted by Mrs. Jones Stitches, Holly Jones. And Holly is the queen of color and cotton floss. But, you know, I just like it. I have a lot of overdyes, and very often I can kit in the called for colors. But unless it's a big project that I'm going to carry for several months, I don't love having my Weeks or Classic Colorworks in a bag for that long when I might not need the whole skein. You know, it just, anyway, I don't know why I do it, but I decided to recolor this. And so I did the more traditional, you know, the same colors that are on the picture, which are these shades of coral. And I thought those were really nice. But then I also had these mauve colors that I just loved. And so I started, this is actually a finish, I started with the mauve and stitched that first, which I just thought was gorgeous. And now I'm working on the coral. So I have both of them going. You want to hold that one? I'll hold this one. Yeah. So I have both of them going. I haven't decided which one I'm giving to my partner yet, but I'm keeping one for myself. You know, I stitched these stitching exchanges. I did both of her exchanges last year, and it was super fun. I actually got to meet one of the ladies that stitched for me at the Barefoot Retreat, which was awesome. But I thought I wanted to stitch this for myself while I was doing it. So. So that's what I'm working on there. That's Darling Buds of May. I think it's a beautiful stitch. And it's, you know, I have a lot of Blackbird booklets. So I sort of went through several before I found that one that I wanted to do.
That's fun.
Okay.
Oh, I actually have something to show. So this bag is by Lori Millsap. I actually love this bag so much. It's
one of my favorite fabric lines. I made a quilt for Gumdrop using this fabric as well.
And Gumdrop made this little bling for the zipper. But this houses my big black project, which you guys have heard me talk about. It's Fungi Garden by Una Buena Pieza. And I just love, 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 love the finished look of this one. So do my children. They have already begun fighting over who's going to get this when I die, which, you know, I'm 35, hopefully will be a while from now. I had started this on black even weave. So here's where I had started using 1 strand over 2 on black even weave. I hated it. Not only was it a challenge because I'm on the dark ground of the fabric, but working with 1 strand is not my favorite thing to do. I don't like 1 strand starts. I like folding my floss and doing a loop start. I am very lazy. And so I had at one point done that reproduction sampler on black Ada. And I thought to myself, what if I have enough black Ada that I could work this pattern onto Ada instead? And so I started completely over and got an entire page finished.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
Yeah. Here, I'm
so,
still this.
So ignore my parked strands and whatnot, but I got a really good start on it when I decided not to keep fighting that even weave. And I'll figure out something else to do on that even weave, but I really love it on the black Ada. I feel like, first off, the black Ada is actually black. Black even weave is more of like a really deep gray. You know, it's not like as dark. You know what I mean?
The stitches on this even weave too look so small. I think it was 32 count and not 28.
Maybe.
I mean, they look really tiny. Have you thought maybe you can make a needle book out of what you have right here, just so you don't waste what you stitched?
We also have an event coming up where we're exchanging pin cushions. I could make it into a little pin cushion.
Absolutely. Yeah. It would make an adorable little pin cushion. Yeah, you could just finish out just a little bit to make it more rectangular.
Right.
And then, yeah.
The other challenge, and I sort of shot myself in the foot here, I thought it would be wise to use a black needle on black fabric. That was completely backwards. You should use a shiny metallic needle so that you can see it poking through.
You had the black pony needle.
I did. I bought black pony needles when we were at Barefoot Needle Arts retreat back in October. And it's interesting, the texture of the needle is different from like a Lori Holt or one of those, but I enjoy stitching with it, just not on black.
Sure.
Because black on black, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I actually stitched the next one I'm going to show with a black pony, and it glides through the fabric so much nicer when you're not having to fight the color.
That makes
But
perfect sense.
all of these bright colors on the black make me so happy. The little confetti pops of that mint green all over the place are a lot of fun. So it's coming. It's a 6-page pattern. So
Are all the pages this big? Or
no, the last 2 pages are cropped.
Okay.
So I'm over 1/6 of the way there.
There you go. That's awesome.
Right? Anyway, I love this bag too because it's just the right size for an entire clipboard. So I can put my clipboard with my pattern, stand it up, and I've got everything together in one spot.
That is nice. In fact, I'll show you, I ordered, I didn't bring them in here. I could have, because when we filmed on Saturday morning, they weren't here yet. But I got 2 new Christmas bags from Denise because I wanted them. And I was going to put this project in one of them. And instead, I put the project that had been housed in it, and I pulled out my own bag. So this is a bag I made myself that's got the Fa La La fabric at the top and is Lella Boutique Christmas fabric. And I had to do that because I'm stitching one of the Leisure Art Santas, and this big hard book did not want to fit in my wonderful Denise bag.
Right.
I love her bags. I love them. I like having the vinyl on the front, and Denise does such wonderful work, so I don't buy 1 bag at a time. I always buy 2. I did only get 1 pal this time, but anyway, I'll show them some other time when I work on those projects that are in those bags now. But this is Leisure Arts Christmas Remembered. It actually says book 1. Which makes me wonder if this was when they started all of those Santa books. And it's a book of, Santa patterns everywhere. I'm doing the one that's on page 30. Oh, this one that's called Bringing Christmas Spirit. I think it is so pretty. And I'm doing this with Stitchy Linda. I think Missy and Joy were also doing this. And I got a little bit of work on it Saturday afternoon after we filmed, and it failed. So I'm a little further than I was when I showed it the first time. But I think he's just turning out so great. I love him. This is Fiber on a Whim Cocoa 18 count. And it's all DMC. Boy, is it all DMC. Look at the amount of DMC that's in this bag.
The colors are fantastic, but there's so many of them.
There's so many. I actually separated it between the bright colors that I need for his coat and other things, and all of those browns and beiges and, background kind of colors.
Yeah.
So anyway, I am so excited.
2 binder rings full of floss.
I know.
Guy.
But I'm working on it on Santa Saturdays, and I thought it won't take me too many weeks to work on it. And it's not exclusive, I don't. If I would only work on one thing on a day, then, sorry about the zipper, y'all, I forgot. If I would only work on one thing on a day, I would get more done. But that's not me. No. I work on something for a couple of hours, then I get interrupted with laundry or cooking, and I come back and I go, oh yeah, I don't want to work on that anymore, and I pull out a different thing. So that's, that's just what I do. I don't know. I think some people work on something until they finish it.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. Absolutely.
I am entirely too ADD for that.
Yes.
I do enjoy completing things. It's the pushing on one project until it's done that I need breaks. I need other shiny things to look at.
So in this bag that I bought in Wisconsin at a quilt show, I bought several, and this one seemed appropriate for this, is my Sarah Stewart Hardman. Yeah. And Sarah Stewart Hardman stitched this in 1824 when she was 7 years old.
7.
So I, until this week, had never placed an order with the Attic Needlework before. Now they have my credit card on file. I'm sorry, Dennis. But... and I've got some things zooming my way. But I received this chart from the Attic as a FlossTube giveaway winner from Katie Strachan. And when it arrived, I was so delighted. Like, it was one of those times where you back up and you say, did she say my name? And you back it up again. When she sent it to me, I then decided to kit it from Stash so that it would be free, because I won the chart. And if I have everything already here, that makes the whole project free, right? So I kitted everything in September of 2023 with the goal that I would finish this project in 2024, and that did not happen. So
because it says 1824 on the
right, and I thought that sounded good, but then I really didn't work on it that much. So I mostly had the called for floss, but I did substitute a couple of gasts and Gentle Arts threads, as well as a Valdani for one of the purpley pinks in the flowers. And I am here. So I stitched one flower in the border over here when Jessica was doing her 100th FlossTube video last week.
Yay.
I know, isn't that awesome? And then I decided I wanted to be able to get his head on his body. My shepherd was headless at that point.
Oh, no.
And so I went back in time and watched Jessica's first, second, and third floss tubes so that I could do his ascot and face and hair and hat, which are all stitched over one.
Is that in silk?
No, this is all cotton.
Oh, okay.
But I'm doing it, when I do the over one in this chart, on 38 count graham cracker tea set is the linen I chose. I'm doing the 10th stitch. So I'm not trying to cross my X's.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the over one. And that's working really well, and I'm very pleased with how it looks. And like some of these tiny little sheep that are in the ground here, they're over one, and I just did them 10, and you can't tell. I mean,
No,
you have to
it's
get
so tiny.
really close to them to see. So I'm very pleased with how much progress I'm making. So far, I have been working on this just since the beginning of the year, only when I watch Jessica, but it means you're going to see this a lot because she tries to film every week, which is really nice. So it means most Mondays or Tuesday, if I don't get to it on Monday, I'm pulling this out and working on it for at least an hour. So for now, my plan when I watch her is to do a border flower, which is, I was just trying to get around all the border flowers. But I also, now that I've finished my shepherd, I probably will want to move on to his wife and whatever mystery item she's holding. Seriously, nobody knows. Like, even it says on the Needlework Press chart that they actually held like a little survey. To what do you think that is? You think
What
she's
could
got
that
a
be?
child? You think she's got flowers and part of her scarf? Like, what is in her arms? And we don't know. It's just color. It's a color blob, and
And
you know.
she was 7.
Right, and the child was 7. So you just cut poor little Sarah some slack.
That's right. Gosh, it's turning out so nice.
I know, I love it. I deliberately chose this very variegated floss for the grass because I really wanted that to show up.
Yeah, that's so fun.
So, and I'm stitching this whenever Jessica does FlossTubes because Jessica is stitching this as her birthday start in 2024. So it, again, I like that it's connected to the person that I'm watching.
I like that too.
You know, makes
It's really
it fun.
special.
Okay. And then this was my Whip Go call for this week. Now, this month I've had 4 Whip Go calls. I've worked on 3 of them. A little bit of spring was my first call for the month, and I finished it, which is fantastic. I have another piece. I'm going to go ahead and show my second one actually instead.
Since we're on a Whip
Since
Go
we're on
kick.
Whip Go. This is in my chicken bag that I made. And it's Big Chicken, Little Chicken Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. And so it's a mattress pin keep. And like most of the Stacy Nash pin keeps, it's very large. So I started this one a while back. Let's see what my floss tag says, because I don't remember how long it's been. Yeah, 2023, September of 2023, I started this. And I started with the outside with the border. So there's a very fancy, intricate border around that part. And this time on Whip Go, I was able to get all the way from one end to the other of that. to get it, you know, the bones laid in,
That's
which made me really
fantastic.
happy.
Yeah.
So now I just need to pick it up and work on it, you know, as I want, and then get the rest of those flowers in there.
Marvelous.
And I actually finished the big chicken completely with its border, and so I was really pleased with how that came out. And you can see, I mean, it's a very large, as a pin keep, it's pretty big. And I even got a little start on the back, because by the time I had stitched the border all the way around this, I had it memorized, and so I thought, well, you know, I can stitch border without actually needing to look at the chart.
And the little chicken on the back is so cute.
Right.
I'm surprised you didn't start on that basket. That looks like something that you would love to see.
I do love that basket, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's funny, when I started this, do you think through projects ahead of time, like what's my strategy? It's one of my favorite things when I watch Narissa, is she talks about these samplers that she's stitching that are, she literally held one up this week that she rested below her hip and it was above her head that she's stitching, okay? So she's got these giant samplers, they're magnificent, but she talks through how she's going to approach it, which I think is so beneficial to all of us to think, okay, so sure, I mean, and she constantly says one stitch at a time and we'll get it done, and she's not wrong. But when I got this pin keep, I thought, if I stitch that chicken first, I'm going to be tempted to just finish that as a little framed thing and be done with it.
Oh, that's
and
fair.
So I started with the border because of the intricacy of Stacy Nash borders, and because I thought I don't want to give myself the reward. Well, then I was about halfway through that border when I went, you know what, I got to start the chicken. So I blew my own rules, but I don't like to boss me around. So
who am I to boss me around?
That's right. So then I, you know, have very deliberately not started on this back because same problem. Like, that little basket will make an excellent little pin cushion all by itself. Like, it's super cute.
Yes, it
and
is.
I think we've got a couple of feral cats that live on our porch that look in the window at me. So I think whatever little animal this is actually supposed to be, I'm going to change to be a little black cat and a little calico cat on each side of that chicken.
Like our creepers.
Like our creepy cats that are on the porch that stare at me all the time. So that was my second whip go, and I consider that a whip go win because I finished the top, plus I finished the bones of that border.
That's a huge
And I
win.
definitely worked on it all week. And I'll keep working on that one. My goal with my smalls was to finish them as part of my whip go. So I will keep working on it. I'm going to keep it out until it's a finish in 2025. That's my plan. But Spring Sampler is by Crochet to Go-Go. It's one of the, I currently have spring, autumn, winter, and Halloween all as whips. I hope that summer will come out this year because I would love to have them all going at the same time. Why not?
Maybe we'll be at market.
Maybe. I'm such a seasonal stitcher. I enjoy starting. So last year, I looked this up on my markup. I only worked on this 4 days in April of last year, and I had gotten 5% done. And so this is my whip go that I'm currently working on this week, and I worked on it a little bit more yesterday. And so this is spring, and now I'm past 15%. So I've done, you know, twice as much this week than I had done all of last year. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'll probably work on it one more time, maybe today and tomorrow. I'll get a couple more days in on it. And then, but you know, it was super fun to go ahead and get spring this month, and I got the house started, and I'm filling in that roof. And I got a little bit more on the flower border. And the nice part about these Crochet to Go-Go charts is that you've got the whole, that framework is the same in all of them. I'm stitching them all on 36 count. So this is Cedar River Coffee Stain, which I chose specifically for how dark it was because I wanted those whites to really pop. I think my winter one is a little more gray and the white's not as strong as I'd like for it to be, but I'm okay with it. Anyway, this is, I just think, so sweet. I'm looking forward to stitching these sheep and that goose and the bunnies eating their little carrot pile. I think of that, all of this down here. I've started, this is another thing, I'm having a hard time remembering who I got this from, but somebody I watch, and maybe I'll think of it, starts her projects in a different spot each time. Oh, Samantha, the Yuga Stitcher.
Okay, yeah.
So she does a lot of mirabilias and other things, and she'll start in a different way each time. Sometimes the center start, sometimes the top left, sometimes the bottom right, like all the different ways. And that's what I've done with these samplers. So my autumn, I have completely filled out across the bottom. My winter, I think I started in the middle. I don't have the house going yet though. So this is the only one so far that I've made it to the house. So that's kind of fun, just to, mix it up, what part of the chart you're dressing.
I love that.
Yeah, if you're going to work a series like that, at least make them...
Keep it fresh for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, they're all such different color palettes. That helps freshen it up as well.
Yep. I just have one more whip.
Oh, snap.
And it's really a two-parter, of course. So I bought this folder from Julie Just Sews, who is Holly Jones' mom. And I love her folders. I have several, but I bought this one recently, and I put in it my 2025 collector's heart from Cecilia at Heart and Hand, and I've got a nice start on it. So everything I'm stitching right now is tiny. I have a lot of 40, a lot of 46. I've just been spending so much time with that Anniversaries of the Heart that's super tiny and tight that to stitch something seasonal like this is 32 count that came with, it's a kit when you order the collector's heart. So it comes with the fabric and the beads that you need for it. So I have all of that. And so since it came with 32 count, I'm stitching it 2 over 2 on 32 count. And that's just, every once in a while, that's just nice. That is a style that I still enjoy. I'm spoiled with one strand. But okay, so I'm working on this one day. Stitching away, minding my own business, loving it actually, because those greens and those pinks, like this is going to be absolutely beautiful in my living room, which is mostly green, and these shades of burgundy and pink. And I love the message. Love who you are is a very important sentiment to me in this year. I don't think we have to be someone else to be lovable. And I have a lot of people that are almost as weird as I am that I love. And so I certainly want to love my own weirdo self. So here we go. Love who you are. And I'm stitching along, enjoying it so much. And my brain said, you know what? I want to start something brand new. And I was like, why do I want to do that? I have so many whips. You've seen them. I've got a lot of whips. Why do I want to start something brand new? No, I really want to start something brand new. So, I put it down, took a break, got some water, got a snack, because, when you're my age, it could just be blood sugar. But really still wanted to start something new. So I went looking. Fortunately, I have a collection of fully kitted objects for such a time as this. I can go find something. And I started to pull like a big sampler or some other thing. And I went, no, I'm not rewarding my brain with the dopamine of starting something completely different. And so instead, I pulled out a different one of Cecilia's projects by Heart and Hand. This is the Doodles Maker chart. And so I intentionally picked a piece of 30 count Portobello linen to do it on so that it would not feel any different to me than what I was already working on. And so I pulled the fabric, the flosses. I had, I think, all the called for pretty much, and I got started on it. And so I'm just this far with my little bit of a tomato, but I felt like that's a way that we can do, what we want. I mean, this is a hobby. We can do what we want. And, if I had wanted to start a big sampler, maybe. But I'm keeping these two things together in this folder from Julie, and I'm just going to work on whichever one of them I feel like working on. So once, you know, it's not this Valentine-y season, maybe I won't feel like working on Love Who You Are, but it's such pretty colors, I probably will. So I'll probably split my efforts between these two now, whenever I pull this one out to work on.
As your brain chemistry dictates.
Exactly.
Who am I to boss myself around?
I'm telling you, I do not like to follow my own rules. I just don't.
I made these rules.
I'm
scrapping them.
That's right. Scrapping them all. Absolutely. Okay.
I have one more thing. Now, this is a design that I actually made as a freebie that we're going to give away at Stitch East, which is going to be our day of stitching here in Greenville, North Carolina, on March 29th.
Yes.
So I made this design in both a square and a round because of request. So if you wanted to finish it square to put in a frame, I've got that available as well. I like hoop finishes. And so what I did, ignoring the called for colors that I wrote myself, I just grabbed colors that were similar enough, and I just worked up a little example on 14 count Ada. Now, what's funny is because I was just working from what I had on hand, I thought I had enough navy blue that I was going to be able to do the background, and then I started actually stitching it and went, oh, I don't have nearly enough. And so I said navy blue, it's more of a royal blue. Anyway, so I decided, oh, what I'll do is I'll make a gradient effect, and I was using 4 strands on the rest of this flower named daffodil.
Daffodil.
Not dandelion.
No.
Which is what my brain was trying to say.
Okay.
All right, so I was working 4 strands.
Buttercup.
Yeah, I was working 4 strands on this daffodil. And so I'd started with 4 strands here, and then I did every other with 4, and then 3, and then 2. And so most of this background here is in 2 strands. But what's really fun is I was still going to run out. And so I had a little bit of thread that I came downstairs and said, I'm going to look through the DMCs and see if I can find a color that matches. Can you even tell where I changed colors?
No, I cannot.
No, because I went to the first box that I picked up, the first bag in that box. I went, oh, I think that's it. And I'll never be able to do that again in a million billion years. But it was so funny to me. I was just like, well, that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to take. I thought I was going to have to dig and dig and dig. But it's come out really cute. I'm pleased with it. Obviously, it's unfinished still here on the back, but I'm going to tuck that back, put some felt on the back side of it, and it's just going to be a little example model.
Excellent.
For Stitch East. Oh, there goes a pencil.
Okay, that's fine. We still have one if you need to write something down.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm just realizing as we're sitting here is that I didn't pull out my haul to show because I've already put it away again from Saturday morning. But I treated myself to several different pieces of linen this month. And that's really all. I'm in some of the normal sort of clubs. Like I always get my Weeks Dye Works Floss Club and my Color and Cotton. No, my Classic Colorworks Floss Club. And now I've joined the Belle Silk Floss Club. I get all 3 of those from Fat Quarter Shop. I saw Fat Quarter Shop posted that they've still got some openings in some of those clubs. So they sort of open and close at the beginning of the year, depending on, you know, as people drop off the list or whatever. So if you're interested in getting alphabetical releases of colors, and we're kind of in the middle of the alphabet on both Weeks and Classic Colorworks right now, you can always sign up with Fat Quarter Shop. Other small needlework stores also offer those clubs. So if you're interested in building your floss stash, you know you can get a club subscription to do that. For linen, I just kind of keep my eye open for when people might be carrying different things. And, you know, some shops actually will let you know they've just gotten a shipment of particular things in. One of the things that I was fortunate enough to get this month from Treehouse Fiber Arts were a couple of pieces of LFA linen. So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see what I find to put on those. So
What is LFA?
LFA is Sue's company. Rachel and Sue do the FlossTube Floss Toss. And Sue is the dyer of LFA linen. Anyway.
That is fabulous.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I won't show all those linens this time. But you'll get the idea that I try to buy them ahead of projects and then I shop from my stash and pretend it was free. That's what I do.
Girl math.
That's the way I do that almost all the time. I don't know if any of you do that, but that is the way I do that.
That is great, actually. And I love that because when you buy a piece of fabric and you don't have a project in mind for it, it gets to tell you what it wants to be when it grows up.
That's right. Part of my challenge is because we don't have a local company, you know, we don't have a local needlework shop, we don't have a place to get these fine linens. If I don't road trip, I do pick up linen when I'm in a shop. So I've bought linen at Liberty Hill Needlework in Williamsburg. I've bought linen, obviously, from Dyeing to Stitch as often as I can when we're there. But and Barefoot Needle Arts, we bought a good bit of linen there. So it is nice to be able to see it and touch it. But I stitch on a lot of neutral fabrics. And I really just want to have every shade of light beige to darker beige and light gray to darker gray, and with the occasional, you know, kind of odd one thrown in there. Which is how I had Mackinac fudge in my stash to do Ducks in the Orchard, and why I chose to do it on that, because I had purchased it sometime when Rachel at Needle and Flax had said that she had, you know, some coming up. I had gone ahead and ordered a fat quarter of that.
That's great.
Yeah. So this is really the only haul that I have handy to show you, is that I bought yet another folder from Julie Just Sews. They're beautiful. I love them. She uses these vintage linens. Like I obviously make a lot of my own project bags, and I'm happy to keep doing that. And I'll make some of them more fancy to match specific projects that I'm going to have for a whole year. But when I have a project that is kitted in, or that's the chart is in markup, then all I have to keep in a bag is the linen and the floss.
Right.
So a folder like this works really well. And I bought the PDF of Though He Seemeth Sleeping from Lucy Beam's website. And I went ahead and kitted it with a piece of cream and sugar that I bought at Barefoot, not this year, but I think last year sometime when I went with Joyce. And so I went ahead and cut it and zigzagged it so it's ready to go. And I have it on a floss thing with I put this little scissor on there just for fun. And I'm going to start this one on Ash Wednesday. I saw Celeste Creates finish of Though He Seemeth Sleeping, and Kathy Firth, Carolina Cross Stitchers finish. That just made me go, okay, that is something I need to stitch. So I will give Mallory a picture of what that design is going to look like, and she can put it in here so you can see. It is a beautiful little sampler. You can buy the PDF. I have it waiting for me in markup to get started, and I'm going to stitch on it during Lent. And I'm probably going to stitch on it every day of Lent, so I might finish it. I don't know. But I have it, and I have another whip that is Easter themed that I'm going to work on a lot during that season. So I'm looking forward to that. And then as far as my plans go.
Oh, can I show my haul
Oh,
first?
you've got haul?
I've got haul.
Mallory has haul.
Very rare for me. I discovered when I was finishing that Warm Stitches piece that what I really and truly needed was a curved needle. So I bought one for myself. So this little set was at Michael's. It has several curved needles, and I think it's just going to make it much easier for putting together 2 pieces of board back to back.
Okay.
So I haven't even opened it yet, but you know, unopened, it's really haul.
Right, sure.
But this, for my next time I need to finish like that, I just thought it would be super helpful and handy.
That's great.
And then this, I'm counting as my haul, although you bought it. This is the Mad for Plaid that goes with the Henny Penny design.
Oh, so this is the jade bag.
This is jade, and look at the beautiful pearl cotton that comes with.
Oh, so it's Valdani pearl cotton. Yeah, so...
And a lovely needle minder that is very reminiscent of the actual design for Henny Penny. I purchased it as a PDF, and when I went to download it earlier yesterday, it was no longer, the link had expired. So I contacted a Fat Quarter Shop and said, hey, I bought this a month ago, but I really never downloaded it.
So did you log into your Fat Quarter Shop
Yes.
page? Then I'll show you where you can go get your downloads.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it told me I had never purchased a download before, even though I got there from my email where it showed I had purchased a download.
Yeah, no, you got to log into Fat Quarter Shop. I've got a whole stack of things that I buy a lot of downloadable patterns from them. I like because they're available forever.
Yes.
Like one of the things that I have in there is a quilt pattern that I make over and over and over and over, and I don't have to keep up with it. I just go, oh yeah, I just got to go print that again.
That's nice. Yeah, but I love stitching on these bags, and I'm really excited to do this little chicken design. It's going to be adorable. Henny Penny on the jade Mad for Plaid. So, but that's it for my haul.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I have, this is my plans. So I bought Sunday Stitches by Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery in 2023 when it came out. It was second only to The Lord's Prayer, which I stitched as my birthday start and finished last year. They were my number one and number two. And this one that has 15 designs, 3 more on the back, is such a good price point for this many designs. And I am feeling, I'm going to use the word overwhelmed. I'm feeling the events of the world a lot these days, and I am deliberately trying to shift my focus to things above this world. So I pulled out Sunday Stitches. I love them. I'm not very musical. I know that sounds weird. I like music. I'm not anti-music, but I'm just not, I don't think in music like all the rest of my family does. But even I, having grown up in a Southern Baptist church, can't read the lyrics to any of these without immediately hearing the organ music in my head. So I think I will start with, I will cling to the Old Rugged Cross because that's one of my very favorite hymns, and work on that during Lent as well. And then I'm just going to work my way through this book, 1 or 2 at a time, just, you know, as I feel led to start them. I love them. I love stitching words, and the fonts in these are all different from one another. And I love these floral borders as well as all the different little geometric borders. So I'm really looking forward to working on this. If any of you want to join me, just comment. You know, we can do a hashtag, or you can just tag me when you're working on it. But let me know, because I would love, I mean, we can just chat about it in IM, you know, that would be fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, Sunday Stitches, it's a beautiful collection by Beth Twist. Also, I posted to my Instagram my top 10 picks from Market. I haven't ordered any charts at all from Market yet.
Did they already come out?
No,
Oh.
but you pre-order. So the way Nashville Needlework Market works, it's coming up on March 7th, 8th, and 9th in
Okay.
Nashville. And individuals can't attend. It is just for designers and shops.
Okay.
It is a market. And so some of the online stores and some of the local needlework stores that are brick and mortar allow you to pre-order as the designers release in anticipation of market what their new designs are that they're bringing to market. And that allows them to know, do I need to buy 20 of that, or do I need to buy 200 of that while I'm there? How
What's
popular?
the demand?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a really good deal for everybody. But so a lot of the, especially online businesses that I like to support, like Lindy Stitches and Colorado Cross Stitcher, Stephanie at Lindy Stitches does an amazing video series where she features every designer. So you can go to Lindy Stitch's FlossTube and actually watch that playlist and see everything that's been released that they're going to be carrying coming out now. Anyway, I did a top 10, and I have to say my number one pick is the Nativity Tiny Town from Heart and Hand. Ooh. And the frill that goes with it, that's the 3 wise men. So it's just beautiful. I love everything about it. I'm definitely going to need to stitch it to put on my spool that I've got my Ocracoke. The Seaside Tiny Town is on there now. But I have a collection of tiny towns that I haven't stitched yet. So I haven't ordered Nativity Tiny Town. It is not going to sell out. One of the things I admire so much about Steph at Lindy Stitches is that she's ended each one of these excitement building, so anticipatory videos with, also, mind your budget.
Right.
You don't have to buy everything at once.
Don't panic.
Things are going to be available, you know, and I do think that's an important... I like to buy all the things, but I am trying not to buy too many things because I do have a nice collection of whips and kits that I haven't had time to stitch yet.
Right.
And so I have a top 10 on my Instagram. If you want to see what I am going to buy, I'm probably going to spread them out among the LNSs that I actually get to visit this year.
That's great.
Instead of trying to pre-order a bunch of stuff.
That's great.
So
that's really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, in the process of digging through and finding things that I had done over the course of the month, found my next project, Spring Stitching with the Housewives. So guys, look how cute this is. It comes in a bag that has the inspired design, and it's got all the information on the back. And I thought, when Mom had given me all 4 seasons, that I picked it up, the first one I started was summer. And I didn't finish summer. I got a lot done in summer, but I started working on Even Weave for the first time with that summer piece. And then I finished the one for autumn, and I finished the one for winter. And so I thought, okay, cool. Well, as we're going into spring, I think I'd like to try to finish that one too. Little did I know, I was going to get a super head start, because in the bag, instead of being untouched, in a hoop with a needle is where Mom had started this one. And so there's already been a great start for this, and it's going to take me like 3 days to finish.
Nice, nice. Yeah, so I ordered the year that was a club. I've never done any of the 12-month clubs with Stitching with the Housewives. And when they introduced this one, Stitching Seasons with the Housewives, it was only going to be quarterly for projects. And I thought, well, that's manageable. Let's see how I do. So spring was the first one that came. I stitched that much of spring before summer arrived. And then I saw the summer design and went, oh, I'm going to have to stitch these houses. It's going to look very similar each time. I'm not going to finish these. And I just stopped.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different from the kind of stitching I was enjoying at the time.
Right.
I mean, I knew it would wait on me, but it's even better that it's waited for Mallory.
Yes.
I mean, you know, obviously, the good excuse for me is I can buy things that I think are adorable that are more her style than mine.
Absolutely.
So that
and
works
so it's
out
got
really
all
well.
the classic colorworks in here. It's ready and waiting for me, and it's got a great start to it already. I'm going to knock that puppy out.
That's fantastic. Well, so as one of our giveaways for today, here's another Stitching with the Housewives chart that I have. It's the Truckin' Along chart for March. If you would like to win this, just say March with a capital M in the comments section, and I will send this chart to you. It's adorable. You can stitch all or part of it. I think that, you know, just the word March with those tulips would make a really sweet little wall hanging. So,
and it's charted both with classic colorworks and DMC, so you can do whichever kind of floss you are most comfortable with.
So your giveaway on that one is March. And then final giveaway, I have a vintage Just Nan chart that a friend gave to me that I'm going to pass on. That is called Bluebird Alphabet. Bluebird Alphabet. It's a very sweet little chart. And I also have the antique white 32 count linen that goes with that. So if you...
And it comes with all the little
it's actually
beads.
28 count, so it's much more usable. And yes, and it's got the little beads here that go in the chart. So if you would like this one, just say Bluebird in your comment. So we
lowercase, one word.
Yes, we actually have bluebirds here, and I love them. They are one of my favorite things to spot in the yard. I love cardinals, that bit of red, but bluebirds, man, that glimpse of bright, bright blue is just so pretty.
We had one perch this past week on the actual roof against the snow, and like the colors were so dramatic, and I was like, oh no, I want to paint.
I know, that's fantastic.
But yes, nature is very inspirational.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We've enjoyed going through all of our projects for the second time. We hope that everything works well on this video and you'll all get to see it. I did comment, when that one failed, we had such a good conversation. We haven't really gotten into that same conversation this time around. Yeah. I think it worked it out of our system to vent to each other on Saturday. Yeah. But, I had been contemplating community versus competition. So many of the projects that I start, you'll notice today how many people's names I mentioned because I start a project because I saw it on FlossTube first. Well, that's a gift and a curse, but it's a gift mostly because we don't live near a shop. We wouldn't even know these things are available if it weren't for the power of social media.
And thankfully, it makes the world small enough that we have community with people literally all over the world.
Absolutely.
But that are as interested in this craft as we are, and we're able to encourage each other, raise each other up, and I think that's just beautiful.
I think so too. So I have enjoyed it very much. I have enjoyed the community. I like doing FlossTube. I didn't know if I would. I certainly couldn't do it if it weren't for Mallory, because Mallory does all of the behind the scenes stuff. And it's fantastic. I mean, she does all the editing, all the post work, and it saves the day because I now will start my Monday manner reset, and I will do laundry and housework for the rest of today while she's working on editing. But for those of you who do your whole video yourself, congrats, man.
Kudos.
I don't know how you do that. That's awesome.
Honestly, one of the best parts of these videos for me is that you and I get to powwow. And it doesn't feel weird. Yes, we're in front of the camera, but we're talking to each other. We do that a lot anyway, and it's comfortable.
I know this is very difficult for people to understand. We live together. We don't talk to each other enough.
It's true.
We live in the same house.
And I mean, I am full-time homeschooling my children.
That's right.
So most of my weekdays are taken up with kids and getting them through their schoolwork.
Absolutely. And when we settle down as a family in the evening with the 6 of us around the table, we're not talking about cross stitch.
No, we're just catching up on everybody's lives over the course of that day.
Right. So this is a really nice time where we get to go through our projects and talk about all the things. And we hope you've enjoyed watching us. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like and subscribe and share our videos so that other people know we're out there, I would really appreciate it.
And if you do decide to enter for the giveaways, please make sure that you're over the age of 18. We are happy to ship them though.
Yes, anywhere in the whole wide world. So any of you comment, and if I need to ship it someplace else, this is a small whole wide world. And we hope that we have friends everywhere. So.
We love you guys, and we really appreciate you watching our video today. We hope you have a great day of stitching.
Yeah, happy stitching. Thank you.
Have a good day, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I think that's long enough to stare into space while grinning maniacally.